This is Omoyele Shore. I'm reaching you live from Abuja. Just want to reach out to every one of you who's been asking after my well-being. That I am now released from police detention in Nigeria, and I just every one of you to uh, know that, and I also want to appreciate everyone for all the great work that you've done in ensuring that I am a free man today. Very powerfully, you all stood up wherever you are, all over the world, online, offline, in flesh and in spirit, and you let the Nigerian authorities know that we're not playing at all. And I mean it. When I say we're not playing, we're not playing. It is how we have designed these from the beginning. I think once in a while they like to do this. They want to test to see if we are who we claim we are. And when they get that, they just can't wait. And one of the issues cropped up in the last few days, I should explain to those who are new to this, is that I was invited by the police that there was a petition against me. Actually, multiple petitions against me at the police office in Abuja. That's the headquarters. So, as is typical, I asked my lawyer or my lawyers, a legal team that we work with, to reply them that they should provide us the particulars of the allegations. Uh, and also that they should let us plan and come down there. So they and but then they wrote this very ludicrous, I would say ridiculous uh, letter to us. It was riddled with errors. They accused me of forgery and inciting disturbance with the inciting, wrongly spelled. So it was something I dealt with, knowing them very well. So I wrote them back to say, well, these laws don't exist and these allegations or the crimes don't exist. So they wrote back again and said, well, just come over. I said, no, I don't work like that. So they eventually wrote, and I consulted with my lawyers, legal team, particularly Tokwe Timokun, who was handling this. We have a lot of lawyers, including SAN Femi Falana, who's our lead, was handled by Tokwe Timokun, uh, who wrote these letters to them, very powerful letters, stating the conditions under which we participate. So I got to pack my bags, which I always do. I take with me toothpaste, I take soap, I take clothes, I take some running shoes because you never know. And I call on our friends and say, we're going to the police headquarters for this invitation. Uh, by the time they saw the crowd, they quickly changed the venue of interview from their main police headquarters, which is where the their illegal IGP is based, who it turns out wrote all these petitions against me. I went to another building opposite, almost diagonal to the police headquarters. I met a team of police interviewers led by a DCP, Deputy Commissioner of Police, known as Akin Fakorede. He's a very well-known guy to those of us who cover the police and police abuse issues. So it didn't take up to 2 minutes before the fight started. So he said, I said to him, please, can you provide me the petitions? He quickly said, well, I hope your lawyers told you that I'm not going to accept your nonsense or rubbish you bring here today. And I said, oh, is that what we're about today? So I quickly rolled up my sleeves and my pants trousers, and we started digging it out. Anyways, much was not achieved. So he went and said, "You have you have to tell us that you are willing to." I said, "Okay, let me see the petition." So he sent me the first petition, written by the IG, that from the office of the IG, that some documents were forged. They said was a police wireless message that was forged because I wrote panicked and posted it. I said, okay. And there was the second one. It was written by a female police officer who is the PSO3 to the IGP, the Inspector General of Police, who Sahara reporters has been reporting about her dalliances with the IGP, and a very, very terrible promotion scandal in Nigeria police. So, so we quickly had a meeting. We said this is all rubbish. First, the IGP or anybody in the police force have no right to use their position to prosecute anyone, whether they like it or not. It's a court position. And at any rate, these are not petitions. So that warrants our time and energy. So he got upset. Very quickly, he left and said, "See, I know who you are. You are going to, I know you're going to be very stubborn and difficult. Today, I'm here to show and teach you a big lesson." So, no big deal, sir. I'm here for you as well. Well, long and short, I mean, long and short of it, we were out there fighting, and he left in anger to some offices, came back again and said, "Mr. Ashore, are you ready for the next day?" I said, "So you have to write a statement, police statement." So he brought a paper out, asked me to write a statement. So I told him, I said, "Look, sir, we are waiting here." I've not written a police statement since 1992. And when I'm accused by the police of doing something that I know I've not done anything wrong, I don't even bother myself. You want to take my statement, you already taken it because you have all these camera people there. Whatever we discuss here, go and transcribe it and file it in court. Say, oh, you have to take your statement. So I said, no, sir. I'm not writing any statement. Of course, recently I wrote a statement when they stole my glasses. But that was a different situation. So he said, if you're not writing a statement, that means you have elected, you are proving you don't want to cooperate. I said, I'm not here to cooperate with you. I'm here to fight for what's just and right. I'm here to fight for my freedom. So he went upstairs again, came back, and said, well, you are under arrest, and I'm detaining you. So I said, sir, that's what I'm here for. I already brought my bag. Everything is ready. So that was how whole world started getting notified about my detention by the police. That was on Wednesday. So at about 5:30 p.m., he came back again and flashed a piece of paper in front of me. He said, "This is your detention order." I said, "See it?" He said, "No, I'm not going to let you see it. But we've obtained a detention order." So I saw very far away the road magistrate and cyber crime. I said, "You people are not serious." But I knew that you planned for today. So I'm not going to waste your time on my time. So we then start having the conversation about where am I going to get detained? Because I was ready. I knew that was their plan. So he said, well, your lawyers are before this, by the way, they had fought my lawyers uh to see anything serious. He got upset, and they said they're going to put me in handcuffs, but they eventually didn't show up with any handcuffs. Just so that you know, this was all planned, and I knew about it in advance, of course, through my own sources that they were going to detain me. So we kept going, and then when we got to, came back again and said, "You still have an option. If you write your statement, We might look into it, and I said, I'm not here to write statements. There's no option. You have an option, and the option is to swallow your pride, stop disgracing yourself and the Nigeria police force, and carry your rubbish paper and everybody go home today. He said, no, oh, and then it became about bragging. And you could tell that they were prepared. It's like, oh, right, we know you. You think you are difficult. For the first time, somebody's here to teach you a lesson. Yeah, these guys don't even know who they are dealing with. So I started praying for them not to step back because I know where we're headed, but they don't know where we're going. So, bottom line, um, he left and told my lawyers that they decided to detain me. And when the lawyers asked them where they're detaining me, he said it's none of their business. So they left me in that building, and when it was about 7, 8 p.m., they came and called me from the office where I had been abandoned, and they said, "Well, we're going to detain you." I said, "Where?" They said, "Well, someone close by." So they took me to this dark, dingy, dirty, smelly detention. It's smelling of shit and urine. Um, they had a mattress, and there was another guy who was there. There was no light, so I couldn't tell who he was. He had been crying. He was a POS operator who was arrested from Edo State and brought to that place. I don't know who. He said he helped someone transfer 2 million naira. So, as his characteristics, I mean, my character, I settled down and started to get used to my environment. So but I told them I need a mosquito net. So they did allow me to get one. When it arrived, I had nowhere to put it because there was a high cell. And then, but I was gagging on the odor. So I asked them if I could buy Dettol. They let me buy it, so I just poured Dettol in the bathroom that they used there, and then managed to sleep. I actually slept well, so because they're taking my phone, no distraction. So at 6 a.m., the door was open. I mean, they always rattle the door because there's a cage, and the cage handler came. Mr. Ashere, your IPO is here. Uh, I said, for what? At 6 o'clock? No, I didn't even know what time. I asked, what time is it? 6 o'clock. They said, you're going to court. So I told him, I said, call the IPO to come to the cell and tell me we're going to court. He said, the IPO doesn't come to the cell. I said, well, if someone is an IPO in a case that they put someone in a cell, if they can't go to the cell, then that's his problem. So I went back to sleep. And the next, um, I just saw he opened the gate to the cage, and this 8 men armed to the teeth came into one of them. The two of them are like all these mobile policemen. They call them Mopo, Killer and Co. And then there were about six of them in suits. And then there was this guy who had a police badge clearly around his neck, and he was backing orders. Stand up. Let's go. We're going to court. I said, what court? If I'm going to court, first you have to inform my lawyers, and secondly, you have to let me see the charges. It's like, no, bundle him. He doesn't want, and those ones are like, I didn't have any clothes on. He's like, bundle him. And I said, you're not bundling me anywhere. It's not happening. So they started to wrestle with me, fight me. And ultimately, dislocated my hand. And I was like wrestling as well. It's like, you're not taking me out of here. So I wasn't backing down. About three of them uh, took my top, helped me put it together, and then they put it over my head. And I managed to wear it and follow them. And then we were having altercation. So they drove me from that scene, which was the Department of Force Intelligence, what they call it FI, the Force Intelligence Department, and drove me to the RT, which is another notorious police facility in Nigeria. And when we arrived there, it was a continuation of the fight. Uh, so, but interestingly, the guys who were at RT did not join him as he expected. That's the lead. Turns out they say he's the CSP, and so many of his men too did not really partake uh, in the harassment and the assault. So he wanted to assault me personally, but I told him if you touch me, he knows the consequences. So, but he uses two Mopol men to carry out his nefarious activities. So by the time I got there, he just took me straight to another detention, and I sat there, and I was, and he left. So I used that opportunity to uh, treat myself and had someone put a bandage around my arm and treated it. So and then while I was doing that, I took pictures and sent them out so that people can see my condition. And it was while I was there that I was hearing from everywhere that the whole world, there was bedlam in the whole world. Around Nigerians were upset, or protests, and came around and they will start harassing everybody. How did you allow Shore to take a picture of his arm and bandage? How did he get out? Where are his phones? They tried to harass to find, try to find my phones. And of course, I didn't have any phones on me. I had no one how to do. Uh, so then after a while, they now came and took me to a cell. This cell, crazy cell. It has kidnappers, Fulani herdsmen, and people who they claim committed fraud. There's a terrible cell, same stench. Anybody who's been to a Nigerian police cell, you know it is stench. A lot of them were sick, they were coughing. I don't know if I haven't been well ever since I left there. And they just asked me to sit there, and that was where I was detained. After a while, come back again and say some people want to see me. So I went out to see them and went and brought one doctor and said, "Oh, we heard that." No, then before he brought the doctor, they brought somebody from the PPRO's office, but he removed his tag so that I won't know his name. They said he's a DSP. He wants to interview me about what happened. And he was pretending not to know what happened, that I should explain if I was who attacked me. I said, "You are the one who sent people to cell. Why are you asking me who attacked me?" And quickly, as I thought, he was trying to find out who took the picture and who treated me. I said, "I treated myself." So he left, and then they brought a doctor. I went to see the doctor. I told the doctor, I said, "If you have sense, you will not, you won't do this. Why would you come and allow yourself, to get involved in this rubbish?" The doctor had a face mask, so I told them I'm not going to attend to it. You can't break my hand. The police can't break my hand and use police doctor to come and treat it. So the doctor left, put me back in the cell again. So I was there with all these guys, and we were just it was just weird. It just kept looking at me like, "Is this sure?" Some of them would come and apologize to me. I was like, "Why are you apologizing for?" They said, "We can't believe they brought you here." Turns out one of them was a police officer as well, and they've all been very excited about the struggle for police welfare and the retirees. So it was my experience yesterday. So in the night, I got a call from one of the lawyers, not a call, but sending a message to me that the Minister of Justice said he could release me. But I told him that it was a tactic. Because then we've heard a lot of people were planning protests in Lagos and Abuja, and the pressure was much. So I told them the tactic. And this morning I woke up and there's news everywhere. They were running up and down, helter skelter. I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "There's protests everywhere. There's problem, and now Nigerians are demanding for what happened to my hand and all that." So after a while, he came with another theater. So I was told that the media had been set up to come and visit me with some activists who are looking for me. So I said I'm not interested. But they still came into the office where I sat, and some of you have watched it. So I used the opportunity to just lambast these guys. You guys have no sense. Nigeria is ruled by headless people. How could you on earth come to me and say, "Oh, we want to check what is wrong with you," when I am not supposed to be in detention in the first place? Anyways, after that, we came with three fresh petitions again. It came as soon as that media fiasco ended in a disgraceful manner. They came with three fresh petitions. The semester show we have three petitions for you. Would you like to read them? I respond to them. I said, "Are you people foolish? Are you stupid? You're supposed to be police officers. So you brought two petitions. You are dealing with, you can't handle it. You go and bring three again." I said, "Would you please get out of my face with your petition?" So they packed their petition. Those ones were written by, I didn't even look at them, but it was some lawyers. Maybe they went as they discovered that the initial two petitions from the IG's office and that PSO3 uh, won't hold water. So they must have gone to hire some lawyers to write fresh petitions against me. I don't even, it didn't bother me. So when that ended, that charade ended, I got another call that the initial interrogator, Akin Fakorede, would like to see me. And this time around, I brought camera people, so they want to interview me on camera, and they can transcribe. I said that's fine, because any opportunity I have to lecture these people, I don't miss it. I'm their teacher, and I'm the kind of experience they need, which is their best teacher. So let's go. So we got there. Uh, he did the unthinkable. He brought out a detention order from a magistrate and said, "We have an order to detain you for between now and August 19." Oh, I said, I said, "That's beautiful. So can you give me a copy?" I think that's the same thing he showed me before. At the point, I was almost tempted to tear it up. I was like, it didn't have any value. So my lawyer, Marshall Abubakar and AK Musa at this point. So we look at each other after. So I said to him, is that the other? It was the crime, it's a cyber crime. He said, "You know already that magistrate courts don't have jurisdiction to try cyber crime. So why did you go out 10 detention order from them?" Say, "Well, it's a court order, it's valid. We are detaining you." I said, "That's fine." So we start digging it out again. And then he brought out another one, charges. So we have filed charges against you at the Federal High Court. I said, "You have a date?" He said, "No." I said, "So you know that this is a federal case. So does it make sense that you went and obtained this Jankara 10 from somewhere in your head? You brought it." And anyways, we were excited about it because we knew that we'll have the weekend to plan a major onslaught and oppression in our country. And we're just looking forward to it. And then the anticlimax happened. He looked around and said, "Okay, no." One of our lawyers said, "Well, since you filed charges and Mr. Shure is not running away, you know it. You guys have seized his passport, he didn't run away. You have broken his hand, he's undaunted. Uh, you have to let him go until you get a date for the charges." And he said, "Yes, okay, we're granting bail." Lo and behold, that was it. So I would reserve every other conversation that happened till another day. But it was really an anticlimax. So he granted bail, and the process is I was not interested in any bail. I didn't offend anybody, but my younger brother was around and said, it's a formality. So I can't sign it. And that's how I got out. But I didn't just get out because they wanted me to get out. I got out because all of you worked very hard, relentlessly, and I decided to have this broadcast tonight to just appreciate all of you. All of you. It's very difficult to have a list of people to appreciate on a day like this. Very difficult. You end up mentioning one person and the other person, you didn't know how much they did. But I want to appreciate everyone, especially those first and foremost in the legal team. They did fantastic. I mean, it is unbelievable amount of legal firework that got us here. And in that regard, I always give it to Femi Falana, SAN, who is our lead, uh, Temitope Temokun, who couldn't make it, and I'm sure he feels very bad about the fact that he's not on ground. Marshal Abubakar was actually the one who was physically removed from the interrogation room. A.K. Musa, Rosemary Hamza, the other barrister Hamza as well, who visited in detention, Barrister Oketa, Alexander Oketa, all of them every day worked very hard. And some other ones that I didn't get to know or see who were filing cases, Barrister DG, Adeyanju, of course, did everything he could. You know him. He was doing the tweeting, he was helping with legal drafting, trying to get, because we eventually did file a fundamental rights enforcement lawsuit against them. But you know how it is. We couldn't get a date before release me today, but we'll pursue that still because it's a matter of rights that these guys don't get away with violating our rights. So in the next set of people, I can't stop appreciating all those great revolutionaries of our ilk who were out every day protesting, protesting against the Nigerian government, protesting in front of the Nigeria police force. Some of them were even injured in Abuja. I think police tear gassed them today. The protesters in Lagos, the protesters in Ibadan, and several other jurisdictions across the country. And I want to use that opportunity to let you now understand, for those of you who are still in doubt, that we can make this thing happen. The revolution that I've been telling you about can happen. And it can happen from anywhere. For those of you who are abroad, you can make a revolution happen whether you are here or not. For those of you are at home, you can make it happen. In fact, if you're abroad and you want to make a revolution happen, you can come to Nigeria, just as I have done. Big deal abroad. If you have this country working, you'll be sending money to people abroad if Nigeria is working. But the reverse is the case. And there's nothing wrong with traveling abroad, but it should not be a career that you travel abroad. And that's all. So, and one of the things I told the policemen, a lot of them that I met, including even the one that broke my hand, is that, see, you are all set up to work against your own interests. Look, we just fought for retired policemen and serving policemen recently, and you are the one they're using. If you want to break somebody's arm, you know your oppressors. Go and twist their hands. But that's where a lot of education and conscientization still needs to happen. But I'm very glad that I can report today that we're getting there. You know, unbelievable. I saw policemen who were cursing their bosses out in front of them while I was in detention at the IRT. They were speaking freely and openly, and they said, anything you people want to do to us, do to us. Can't treat you well like this. That tells us that imminent revolution is building momentum through solidarity. And that's why we fought for police the other time. And we can all end the unjust and fair and oppressive system all by just sheer courage, raw courage. And that's what I've always said to people. That's why I apply courage instead of caution in dealing with oppression. So it is very, very important that I also thank several other persons, politicians. I want to use today to forgive some of my political friends that I always criticize because I saw that they all came out. People like Abubakar Tiku. I saw he issued a statement. Please, this is not a sign that tomorrow I won't be after them. I'm just thanking them based on what they did, which I think was good. I saw that Peter Obi issued a statement. I saw general unity across board. People didn't discriminate because uh, I wasn't their favorite politician. Yes, I'm not going to join a coalition, but I believe in the unity of the oppressed. I saw, I mentioned Pastor DG did a lot of social media work. I saw Very Dark Man, the video. It was shown to me while I was in detention. Great job. I've always felt that everybody who genuinely mean it, we can all work together to defeat oppression. That's the truth. I saw Mama P, who I never met before at the protest ground today, as a fire share. I saw a lot of the posting on this. The flag boy was actually with me. He was the last person standing. And today, I want you all to please help me wish flag boy a happy birthday. Today's his birthday. You know the guy who carries Nigerian flag around in Abuja. That's flag boy. Uh, People uh, who have done a lot of cause, who made efforts on their own without my knowledge. I'm still going to get to all of you and thank you if it's possible. But before I started this broadcast, I said it that what I'm doing tonight is impossible work. 'Cause trying to thank everybody who worked for you and to get you freed is an impossible because you mention one person's name, another person will get offended. So please, if I didn't mention your name tonight, don't get offended. And if I offend you in the future, you know how it is. I'm talking about today, and that's what it is all about, which is that I appreciate all of you wherever you may be. Today, not thank my cousin in the US, Collab Benson Colade Omoyeni, KBO, who was running around doing media for the US for me. I want to also particularly thank my wife once again and kids. They go through a lot. I've spoken to them this night, and they're strong. But you know how it is. I really appreciate them. I appreciate our family members, my brothers and sisters, all of them. Akin Shore was the person who signed my bail bond today. Um, so all of them, I thank you so much for all your efforts. Nigerians all over the world, my friends abroad and at home, who have done a lot. Uh, so part of the reason why this is not some kind of Thanksgiving event is because the struggle continues. This is just like when I left detention today, if you see my Facebook broadcast, I just said, well, we're going to work, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So I want to thank everybody. I still have this to deal with next few days, and I'm going to try and take care of myself. And I hope you guys take good care of yourselves and continue to work. This is just like always the beginning. Every opportunity we have is an opportunity to show that we can do better than we used to. And one of the things I post on my Facebook page this night is to say, look, I know how the oppressors work. Once in a while, they want to test our will to be sure that we are the people we claim to be. So, thank you. Have a good night. Luther continue victorious with revolution now. Thank you.